did you know there's a lot that happens between Kenya and Nigeria in terms of bilateral relations? We want to focus on that so that we actually expand our understanding of Nigeria. And to tell us more about that particular relationship is the Nigerian High Commissioner, Akin Oyateru.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Power Breakfast Show.
Thank you for having me.
Very well. I mean, perhaps you could just tell us a bit about the genesis of the relationship between Kenya and Nigeria, apart from just being African countries.
Yeah, Nigeria and Kenya share quite a lot. We share the same sort of historical heritage, having been colonized by the British, history, aspiration, and development goals at independence. So Nigeria and Kenya have had very deep relations and warm and cordial since independence. And but we feel that now is the time that these relations are taken to the next level. If you like, you say in popular parlance, it is time the West met the East. There's not been much economically between these two powerhouses in their various subregions. So the visit of President Jonathan is to broaden the base of these relations and to deepen them. And both President Jonathan and President Uhuru share this passion of the African development goals, which they believe must be African-centered, African-driven, and African-implemented. So they have this goal of moving up what we call the African development agenda.
So what's the main purpose for the visit of your president in this country on Thursday?
Yes, that the visit, as I said, is therefore to discuss ways of broadening our existing cordial relations into other areas, particularly trade and investment, tourism and culture, in the area of oil and gas. Then you have finance and banking, agriculture, manufacturing, mining, and other areas. So he believes, both of them believe that, intra-African trade has to be increased. And the way to do this is to deepen economic and bilateral financial interaction.
Right. Of course, the Nigerian government is making huge investments in the production of rice, sorghum, palm produce, groundnut, cocoa, and even cassava. When you look at Kenya, what are some of the opportunities that you have spotted that you'd want to pursue?
In Kenya, we want to pursue both horticulture and floriculture, where you are the leading producers of cutthroats in the world. And you have a situation where Nigeria imports a lot of roses, particularly for weekend activities, marriage, and other social engagement. First of all, your roses has to go to the auction floor in Amsterdam. They're traded there, from there to London, and then London to Nigeria. That's about 18 hours. Wow. Whereas you have Nairobi, Lagos, 5 hours. Cut out the middlemen, let the farmers here in Kenya get more value for their labor, and let the buyers in Nigeria, get a reduced cost. So you could actually, transport this. You have Africo Jade, that is one of the largest producer of French beans in the world, and this is a place that employs a lot of women, so women empowerment. So these are things we can do, even on a small scale, cottage industry, empower people, produce up to standard, and then import them. And if you want, so these are areas we want to look at, the areas of wildlife conservation and hospitality. Kenya is one of the most popular tourist destinations. Right now, a lot of people are going to the Mara to see the migration of the white-beached. We just sent a presidential steering committee a week ago to undertake a benchmark study of how we've done this, so that we could equally manage our parks, on such very sound and efficient basis. So quite a lot we can share. And of course, tea. Tea, you are one of the biggest producers of tea and coffee in the world. And Nigeria imports about 1 billion worth of Kenyan tea a year. So
but also from Europe?
No, directly from Kenya.
From
Kenya. And then other ones that are blended, branded from Europe. But we would like to have, we drink a lot of tea as well. And you have a population of 160 million. So you can make that beverage more popular, and we'll have Kenyan farmers going to Nigeria to plant, because we have some temperate areas like the Mambila Plateau, the Jos Plateau, where tea does very well. So you could do that. You could have joint venture up from the people. You could have a lot of light industry, people coming to either invest in Kenya, or Kenyans going with joint venture with their own expertise and comparative advantage to set up there. So quite a lot that could really happen that have not been explored up to date.
Right, it is important for us to note that the recent diplomatic row that was occasioned by the deportation of controversial businessman Anthony has actually been resolved diplomatically. What's the way forward in terms of making sure that such happenings do not happen in the future?
One of the agreements we'll be considering during this visit is a draft immigration agreement between Kenya and Nigeria. When that agreement is concluded, it will set rules and regulation for managing this very sensitive area of our relations.
Actually, what happened? A lot of Kenyans don't know what was that?
No, what happened was that there was some deportations that were done, which is really the right of any country to do, to exercise. But these have to be done according to set down standard international practice. And there was just some few administrative and procedural lapses there. That's all.
Which was caused by the Kenyan plea?
No, these were the things that were resolved. Between ourselves, we understood what they were. They were resolved diplomatically. And let me say this: the fact that there were wrinkles that were, like the wrinkles in the fabric that were ironed out, it only makes the fabric look more beautiful. And then I can tell you equally that the fact that we're able to resolve these diplomatically actually attests to the strength of our relations. That we could do this, and I think our relations will grow stronger, and the people-to-people link will even be further increased, and then there's better understanding between the officials of how these will be done in future. Like I say, the new agreement on immigration will be such that it will improve relations. And Nigerians staying in Kenya will live in safety without any fear of harassment or intimidation, and they will be welcome to do their business here.
Because in July, Nigerians living in Kenya actually protested harassment by Kenyan authorities. How has that been handled so far?
No, that has been handled diplomatically between ourselves. We realized what the problem is. We entered into dialogue and put in place administrative framework that will help to remove this type of friction and irritants in our relations, because we have quite a lot of things. The Kenyans welcome Nigerians warmly here, but sometimes you do have just a few misunderstanding between the law enforcement agents and Nigerians. So all these talks we've been having is such that it will actually lay a firm foundation to ensure that this type of friction are eliminated, and they've been eliminated.
Because one concern was that the High Commission was actually not doing very little to handle the harassment, and they were even given titles as drug peddlers.
Now, what you have when you have in the relation is that diplomatic work is a back channel work. It's a quiet business. It works slowly but surely. It's not a front-page thing. It's not about sensation. It's about proper understanding of issues, applying reason and logic. And to some people, this is not fast enough. But you need to get credible solutions, durable solutions for all time. And this was what we were doing behind the scene. It takes time. We care so much about the welfare of Nigerians here, and we do everything to promote and protect that. And I think the Kenyans equally care about the welfare of Nigerians, and would like to protect that and promote that. So we're talking, we're addressing that, and I think such incidences are far in between now.
Let's go to business. A lot of Nigerians are here doing businesses.
Yes.
Number of banks, Nigerian-owned banks.
Yes.
What's the trade balance between Kenya and I don't know whether there are any Kenyan banks in Nigeria.
Well, in that case, if you say trade balance, I think trade balance is in favor of Kenya for now. We buy quite a lot of tea from Kenya, and Kenya is not being able to buy quite more. But after this business forum, no, quite a lot. Maybe petroleum products downstream, like which you could offer. I mean, the lubricants, I mean, oils and everything which you could really this thing. But we could offer a lot in even areas of manufacturing where we have comparative advantage. You know, we've done so well. We could exchange these goods. What you find out is that there are some goods manufactured in Nigeria, you know, can be done commercially, labeled in a third country, and then sent to Kenya. So what we want to do is to explore this direct thing. We do a lot of, sugar in Nigeria. Like the Dangote is one of the largest producers of sugar. And this thing. You have a lot of, sugar, you know, in the Western province. You know. We could find Nigerians coming to invest there or have joint venture. So quite you could do cement is there. You have a lot of limestone. I mean, Nigerian business investors can come here to invest in limestone. So quite a lot of things that actually can be done about that. Banking, Nigeria, Kenyan banks are welcome in Nigeria. I mean, so there's cross-fertilization, and you know, we can promote more of financial transaction here, make us foreign, our stock exchanges stronger because the money will remain within Africa, and then formation of capital, you know, for investments instead of having to borrow money from outside, Africa. When our stock exchanges, you know, are strong enough, we can raise public bonds and, you know, for all these long-term and medium-term projects, you know, infrastructure like roads, rail lines, shipping lines. So if you generate more of these banks that's cross this thing, you eliminate the issue of intermediary banks, you know, that you have to pay commission and it takes time to transfer. African banks will be much more, they will be stronger than they are, you know, presently, and then there's confidence that they can do more business.
Kenyans just discovered oil, and many Kenyans fear that the oil you've discovered may become a curse like it has happened in Nigeria, where we have problems because of oil. Are we asking them?
No, oil is not a cause. Oil is not a cause, it's just a commodity. What I'm saying is that, no, it depends on what you do with it. Yeah. And I think the thing about oil is that before you will strike the first barrel, you should plan what you intend to do with the proceeds. So there should be a development plan of how these proceeds are going to be used. You want to look at the issue of training, having the competent manpower, indigenous manpower to mine this. You want to ensure that you have the right regulation to regulate the sector. And therefore, you find that there will not be only concentration on that only commodity in monoculture. It's when it becomes monoculture economically that it then could have, you know, adverse effects. But the moment you are well focused that it's just one of the commodities here, I do not think that because you have oil, you are going to neglect Masamara, for instance. I don't think that because you have oil, the hospitality industry will be forgotten. You will not stop producing tea or coffee just because you discovered oil. So you are lucky you're finding oil in a much later stage of your economic development and planning. Therefore, you could learn from the pitfalls of others, you know, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can learn good practices of how this is, from countries, you know, that have had experience in this matter.
Right. Just, for instance, according to the Daily Mail, in relation to gold, to oil, Nigeria is sitting on crude oil reserves estimated at 35 billion barrels, enough to fuel the entire world for more than 1 year.
Yes.
And of course, the reality of you have a population of about 170 million people, but looking at the poverty line, 70% of Nigerians live below the poverty line of £1.5. What are you doing to handle that kind of situation, the poverty, that perhaps even Kenya can learn, because we're all sort of, you know, balancing the whole issue of poverty?
Two things. Agriculture. We are rehabilitating the agricultural sector in such a way that it becomes one of the largest employer of labor. Secondly, we'll be able to produce enough food to assure food security, therefore cut down on import bills, and then divert those funds to socio-economic development, area of education, making sure that we develop qualitative human capital. Secondly, area of health, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. Then the area of infrastructural deficit, therefore power generation, roads, infrastructure. And then once you can do this like power generation, there's a lot of spin-off effect. SME will take off, a lot of credit traders will be empowered, therefore there'll be more accrual in matter of GDP and income to the people. So that is one. The second area is having a credible youth policy to ensure that the youth are positively engaged and that they can use, their abundant energy is released positively and nest in such a way that they become developers, innovators, entrepreneurs, builders of community. And then we can channel this positive energy so that our youth will not only call them leaders of tomorrow, they'll be stakeholders of today to prepare the platform, for tomorrow.
How can Nigeria help Kenya develop in the film industry? You're very far ahead.
Which
film industry?
Oh, film industry. We were far ahead, but Hollywood is mile years ahead of us.
Well,
and yet we're able to do it by collaboration. This Independence Day, which is 1st of October, we want to do something a bit novel. We want to use contemporary arts as a platform for understanding, and promotion of friendship between Kenya and Nigeria. People to people thing. We'll bring in contemporary artists here, both the legends and the young ones, to expose them to Kenyan society. We're promoting Kenyan, young artists to expose them equally, so that whether people can appreciate what they're doing, and for them to develop a sense of confidence and excellence. That way, we appreciate what we have and not wait for other outsiders to impute things. Nollywood is, that's part of the things we're going to do. Tourism and culture is through collaboration. You have a lot of brilliant actors here in Kenya. You have a lot of aspiring directors and producers. When they collaborate, when we have a framework to regulate these relations, we can develop it.
Awesome, awesome. So thank you so much indeed, talking to Nigerian High Commissioner Akin Oyateru, basically looking at Kenya-Nigeria bilateral relations. Many thanks.
Thank you so much.
Totally appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course, it's been a great honor serving you here on Power Breakfast Show. My name is Johnson Mokazi.
And I'm telling you,
All right.
and the High Commissioner.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Cheche happening tomorrow. Don't miss it.